Welcome back, beautiful souls. My name is Erin. This is Channel Your Light. Own Your Intuitive. I am popping on here as just a Venus. There's a lot of Venusian energy happening and a lot of Venus. And yes, it does have to do with the 13th pathway, but I feel really called to sit down specifically today. I knew this yesterday, but today was a day to sit and share some messages from Venus and the power of the new moon coming up on Sunday. And also, I'm just hearing the art of embodiment and what Venus truly represents. And this new moon is a new moon in Taurus, both because it's the sun, it's in the sun sign of Taurus, but also because the moon is actually in Taurus. It shifts into Taurus right before that marker of the new moon. I think it's not much time in between it. Anyways, that doesn't always happen. For the first, I want to say 2/3 of 2025, every new moon happens in its sun sign. So both the moon and the sun are aligned in that particular astrological house. So Taurus and Venus just came out of retrograde, Mercury just came out of retrograde, and we're really moving into this shifting place of being completely aligned and all in for what we want. This is the moon of embodiment. And it's the moon of embodiment because to be embodied in the thing that you want is to be able to receive it in the body, in the experience, in the timeline. It's one thing to wish it, says Venus. It is another to actively embody it. Even further so, she says, a better question, I guess you could say, is, are you able to receive it, to be in alignment with that thing that you've asked for? This is like the moon where everything gets, dreams get flesh and roots and embodiment. And I know I've said that before on a previous moon, maybe it wasn't here, but in one of my communities. This really is Taurus energy, is that Venusian energy. It is very grounded. It's a fixed earth sign. It's a feminine energy. These are the aspects of Taurus as an astrological, second house. Think of what comes before Taurus. Aries. Aries is a fire to start a new journey. And Taurus is, I guess you could say, the expression of it in the physical form, because every time we have an experience, there is an expression of it, both a physical, emotional, and a mental expression of it, of that experience. So this new moon in Taurus is so potent. It's so potent for a number of reasons. And Venus says this is why we were all rewriting contracts. This is why on the full moon in Taurus, which happened in mid-November, that was what was illuminated of all the places that many in the collective needed to shift, needed their unconscious to align with their conscious. Many were saying, I wish to have this, or I wish to manifest this, or I wish to go to this timeline. And yet that was their radiant sun. However, their moon, the unconscious, had areas in their Venusian contracts and commitments, because Venus is a full commitment to go headlong, full forward, full embodiment, all in to the thing that you actually want. So it's interesting to note that Venus is all about contracts, sacred commitments. We did do the Council of Venus, a group of us, which was freaking amazing with all the channeling that happens in the Council of Venus for the Venus retrograde period. And we did, in fact, in that community, rewrite contracts that we have with ourselves. Venus says everything you will experience in this next shift will be directly correlated to the contract you have with yourself. For example, every relationship, if you wish to call in love and relationships, you must first identify what is the commitment and contract you have made to yourself. Every relationship you will experience thereafter will be based as a projection and a reflection of your own contract with yourself. Choose wisely, she says. This new moon in Taurus, yes, it is about planting a seed, but it is actually about the embodiment of it, the ability to receive it, to be it, to vibrate with it, as per the universal law of vibration. If you have a contract that you do not believe in love, or love hurts, then that is a vibration you will radiate out, and that is what the law of attraction will bring to you. After all, the law of attraction is secondary to the primary law, which is the law of vibration. This is often why many of us find that the law of attraction doesn't work. It didn't work for me either, friends. Side note. until I realized that's the secondary law, and you have to be in the primary law in order for the secondary law to work, because one builds upon the other. So the universal law of vibration is being in the vibration of the very thing that you wish for, want to manifest, or actively want to call into your life and experience. If you're calling it in from a place of not having it, which is not the vibration of it, you put your feelers out and then wonder why it doesn't come to you, and you attract all that was before. Venus says if you go to the origin contract, it is because you have a contract that says, I have guilt around receiving. Love hurts. People always hurt me. There's all of these old things that come into play. So this is going to be a short message for this new moon, coupled with a couple other videos that are coming out. But it's really that she's saying, look at your contracts, look at what you say on repeat, look at what you actually truly want to experience. What commitment do you need to make to you, to yourself, to uphold in order to have those experiences you truly want? This new moon is in the sun sign of Taurus, and the moon is in Taurus, which means your conscious and your unconscious are in alignment for this new moon. This is also why many of you had a lot of things from November and on, or perhaps all of 2024, where there was a ton of shifting, illuminating, and sifting. She's saying many of you have been sifting through what you want, what you don't want, what is truly aligned with you, and what is not aligned with you. Where have there been illusions? Where have you been holding on to old promises? Where have old contracts of accepting half of what you want been in the way of the thing that you truly do want? In this way, the only commitment that truly matters is the commitment that you make to you, the commitment to love you fully, to respect you fully, to expand you fully, to be you fully, naturally unfolds into experiences that reflect this to you. When you focus on your own vibration of loving yourself, when you attempt to manifest, you simply are the manifestation of love. Therefore, the law of attraction then comes into play, and you attract like attracts like, because you're in the vibration of love. If you are trying to call in love, but not being in the vibration of having love, well, you will call in things that don't represent that love. She's really hitting it home here. The moon is speaking to this. The moon and the Venusian energy. When the sun and the moon align in the same astrological house, it sets us up to be in a tone of no restriction. She makes me feel like the resistance you've been feeling up to this point has been incurred for some of you, not everyone. If you have resistance, it has been incurred or amplified or been extreme, so that you can see the extremity of what has been in the way of what you truly want. This also appears to be a bad thing, but do not steal your struggle. That struggle is showing you what you can let go of, what you don't need anymore. It's like the gold mine, man. It's the gold mine, says Venus. It's a gold mine, a gold rush. Some of you are just going to open into this beautiful unfolding. And I feel like Spirit is kind of taking over in this, in terms of not really me directing the flow, but Venus says Taurus is important. It is the second step in the astrological cycle, or the 12 houses. You could look at it that way too, depending on how you perceive astrology and all those different things. But she's saying it is important right now because I am the embodiment of that dream, that idea, that concept, that feeling that you are missing something, that you want to experience something, and why haven't you? Now is the opportunity to align your inner world so that you can embody it. Thus, it becomes your outer world. You are all active participants and co-creators in this process. The Taurus sensuality, physicality, the moon of embodiment means you get to feel the experience in your body. You get to vibrate in the experience of what you want, thus taking actions in alignment with what you want. And while these are all typical psychological things or personal growth things, Venus says it goes much deeper than this. Many of you have been going back to the origin contracts of the sacred feminine on the earth plane. It is not just about this life and this experience. It is about a multitude of lives a multitude of experiences, a multitude of contracts that go back to the ancient times. This is a message for an ancient soul. Indeed, the struggle that you have experienced is a culmination, or one might say a pileup or a layering of multiple incarnations. This particular new contract you have is blessed. This is a new contract of a new birth for your entire soul's incarnation of lower base density contracts that you have run through multiple incarnations of disempowerment, lack, discarding, denial, and dismissal of the feminine within you, regardless of whether you are a masculine or a feminine in gender wise. This is speaking to the energy of it. This is the time point, the choice point where Yuga Kali has initiated the new cycle. It is upon you and it is unfolding in this new moon in Venus. Again, this is a message for an ancient one. This is a culmination of all of your hard work through the layering of multiple incarnations. This is why you sense so deeply, you feel so deeply, also attuned to as the blue ray. A blue ray feels and senses things deeply and remembers multiple incarnations. She remembers when she has an experience, or he has an experience in this particular life incarnation that is deeply tied to the unconscious of a previous incarnation or multiple incarnations. You see deeply and you feel deeply because you have effectively and are effectively in this moment transcending all of them at once. This is the layering of the multiple incarnations that you have sensed into. In this way, you should be celebrating. You may feel that it is hard to be human, but it is only because you are sensing it so deeply. You are understanding unconsciously all the various aspects that are at play. What you are transcending is not a small feat. This is a time frame, this new moon in Taurus, where you truly begin to embody the self-love, the self-affirmation, the self-confidence, the self-acknowledgement, the self-validation, and the self-honoring of the divinity within you, understanding you are whole and complete because you have effectively placed, I'm seeing some of you, you're actually taking whatever you've done in the last 6 months since the full moon in Taurus, which was back in November, and probably many before that, but I'm being referenced specifically November for somebody on here, which is Scorpio sun season. But this happened in, I think it was right before Scorpio in Libra balancing, but it was a full moon in Taurus at that time in November of 2024. She says, you have been sifting, digging, illuminating, transcending, healing, holding, reclaiming, so that you may find the wholeness, find the wisdom, find the pearls, and discard all that was required from the multiple incarnations to finally overcome this particular lesson. Once you have done this, it then gets deposited into the Akash records. It is no longer an active participant for this incarnation moving forwards, because you have healed it, you have held it, and thus you have released it, placing it back into the Akashic records, where it will be held for another that comes after you, that can go into the Akash, and you're witnessing, you're honoring your process and your releasing of that particular life lesson. They're saying it gets deposited into the Akashic record of your particular soul's multiple incarnations, the holding of your soul. But it is more deep than that. And this speaks to how each of you, what you do for you, helps the entire collective. Because there is another soul who in 3 months' time will be facing the same thing that you had faced for multiple incarnations. The answer has already been deposited into the Akash. Their soul, their guides will be guided to other souls who have overcome and transcended that lesson, which is in the Akash. It will no longer be an active participant, an active pattern, an active thought, an active hurt or wound in your next unfolding of this incarnation. It will no longer be an active part of you because it has been transcended, placed into the Akashic record, and is now there in the vault. I'm hearing in the vault for other souls that are ready to come to it or access it. This is the beauty of the entire collective consciousness and unconsciousness. What you do for you, you do for all of us. And that may not be right in the moment, But make no mistake, I know that everything that I have done for me, personal transformation, deep work and grief, alchemy, all the different dimensional aspects, I know that I have done that for me. But I also know it has allowed me to deposit so many pearls and diamonds into the Akashic field, into the Akashic record, into my personal Akash, but also something that other souls can come to as well. Think of it as we're multiple soul Venus. God, I love Venus. I love Venus energy. Oh, so good. She is saying that this is important for somebody on here who feels like, why are you doing all the work? She says, not only are you doing all the work, there are 100, 100,000, 1,000,000 souls prior to you incarnated who learned the lessons that you have learned in their souls holding through the fragmentation of multiple incarnations. And they too have learned the lessons, and your guide has taken you to those people. And they too could have said in the past, Ancient One, I've already learned this lesson, and why am I doing it? Because it is never just about you. Blue Tara is here. She is saying, we are one child. We appear to be the many divine daughters and the divine sons, and we are, but truly we are each a fragment of the one child. The divine child is the collective. In this way, what you do for you, you do for all of us. What I do for me, I do it for me, but I am ultimately doing it for all of us, for the highest spiritual benefit of all beings. I'm not sure who needed to hear this, so let me know in the comments. I did not expect us to go here, but I do know last year in 2024, we were doing a lot of Akash work and taking people from old incarnations and lessons that were popping up in this life because it was still active in the unconscious. Once that's been dealt with, it effectively gets deposited into the Akash record and is no longer an active component, no longer weighing in the unconscious. It's no longer weighing on the conscious. None of that stuff occurs because it has been dissolved into the purpose of what it was intended to do, which was to bring you to the liberation, the opening, the reholing of the soul. This might be a message for somebody who, you know, this is your last incarnation. For your last incarnation, you are effectively holding the whole of you from all the multiple incarnations, which were fragments or different places or different universal timelines in parallel universes, you could call it, operating at the same time. Everybody has a different perception. Align with what's yours. Take the messages that resonate for you and leave the ones that do not. But just know that this is the year of the Great Awakening that we've all been working towards, and each of us on multiple layers and levels and steps in our own personal journey and process, and each shifting at different time frames and in different ways. Some ahead of the curve, some in the midst of the curve, and some just about to come to the curve. It doesn't matter where you're at. These are relevant messages regardless of your place on the curve, if you would even call it a curve. And Venus says we call it a curve because of the Fibonacci spiral, where we look at that spiral energy and recognize that at the center point, once we move further along the spiral, we go out to this other thing over here, which is a deeper nuance of the self, a deeper memory, a deeper unconscious, which allows us to reclaim a conscious awareness of the holding of the soul. Let me know if that resonated for you in the comments, friends. I freaking love Venus. I love Venus like nobody's business. Venusian energy, the rose, the 13th path, these are all interwoven and interconnected. The 13th path is touched on in every culture, in every race, and in every incarnation. It exists regardless of how one attunes to it, but every aspect that it appears in the houses brings it to the center point. This is for another channel. They're saying just keep it sweet and short for this right here, for the new moon, for Venus. I will post this on Friday, the 25th. I feel like that's significant to post it on that day. Venus is really coming into the moon of embodiment. This is like the moon, the energy where your sun and the moon are both in Taurus, aligning you, asking you to physically experience the dream, to go after, to live in the embodiment of what you want. Give it flash. You want to be in a relationship? Give it some flash. You want to, start making more money? Open the pathways to give it some rooted, grounded embodiment. You want to have some more self-love? Embody it, be it, become it. You're the spell. You're the dream. It's not outside of you. It is not separate from you. You're it. It's time to start living it. And of course, if you have not done so already, I have a couple of emails that are scheduled to go out that speak really intensely and dive deeply into the concepts of Venus and the art of receiving. So if that piques your interest, please subscribe to my email list if you have not done so already on my website, erinchandler.com. You do receive a 12-step guide to connecting to your intuition, but as well, you'll be able to catch the emails and the channels and the step-by-step process that really Venus gave to me. Let's be real here. Venus gave it to me through the last year to 2 years as I've been working in and out with her energy. So as we move into the weekend, this is food for thought. You are the dream. It's not outside of you. You're the living embodiment of it. And it's up to you by virtue whether or not you choose to embody it. It's only a dream that seems off in the distance because you haven't made the choice to embody it. And in addition, you only have the dream because you're being asked to embody it in some way, shape, or form. You can perceive it, you can vision it, you can yearn for it because it's meant to be part of your journey. And typically the only thing that stops us is us making the choice to, again, by virtue. I say virtue lightly with multiple connotations. It's up to you whether or not you actually embody it. I have a dream. That's a song playing. What's that from? I can't remember. I have a dream. Anyways, thank you, Venus. Thank you, spirits. Let me know, beautiful souls, if you're feeling all that energy. Very sensual, very physical, very grounded, fixed, feminine, rising energy in this Taurian season with its ruler. Don't forget, Venus rules Taurus. I will leave that with you. Say hello in the comments and many moon blessings. And I'm sending you all much love.